All right, welcome back to another episode of Fit Dad, Fat Dad. We're gonna, learn how to be fit like him.
I'm Steve Lai. I work at the BBC at the moment. I'm a journalist, dad of two. So I was at CNA for about 12 years. Then this opportunity at BBC came up. Thought I'd give it a shot. It's been a busy year. I've been to Taiwan for the elections, Jakarta for the Indonesian elections. Just came back from Tokyo for the Japan elections.
That's why we have no more football. We're waiting. He's supposed to. He's the organizer for Friday Night Football. We've not played for like 2-3 months.
Yeah. So ever since I joined the BBC, things have been busy.
Okay, let me send an email to your boss. Please let Steve Lai play football. All right, let's talk about your children, right? You said you got 2 kids. One of them is somewhere in the background running around.
Yeah.
How old are they?
Yeah, so 17 and 13, about to be 14.
You are quite young, ain't it? How old were you when you had your kids?
I was just turned 30, I think. I was 29 when Sophie was first born.
Wait, hold on, you're like almost 50.
Yeah, 40 and 47.
So handsome and so fit. I'm gonna find out the secrets later, yeah, Steve? Were your kids born here?
My oldest was born back in Brunei, where I'm from. My youngest was born here in Singapore, yeah.
Okay, so let's go to your oldest.
It was exciting, it was kind of nervy. I mean, first child, never sort of been through that whole process before. I remember wearing my wedding ring because my wife was holding my hand and just crushed my fingers against the wedding ring.
So you were behind her, like next to her?
Yeah, I was next to her. But it wasn't about me, it was all about my wife. I mean, she was doing all the work, really.
One thing that I asked the other dads as well is, did you cut the umbilical cord?
Yes.
Oh,
yes,
I don't dare, Like,
really?
I have 2 kids as well, and they ask me, hey, would you like to cut it? It's like, no, thank you. Let's leave it to the professionals.
It's not so bad. I mean, it's kind of rubbery, kind of a feel to it.
And then your second kid was born in Singapore.
Yep. She was much more relaxed for the second one. I mean, we knew what was going on, right? So when my wife was, in labor, actually, if you haven't dilated too much, maybe I can go and pick up our older one, take her home from school, and then I'll be back. You won't miss me at all. And then, of course, I'm like driving back and getting a message going, her arrival is imminent. Thankfully, there was a parking valet at the hospital. It ran up 7 flights of stairs because I couldn't wait for the lift. Yeah. Came through the door and was like, okay, I'm ready. And the doctor was, okay, Steve's back, where you can push. And like 15 minutes later, she was out. It was so smooth.
Your advice to first-time dads?
One is you're going to need to sleep whenever you can. But the number one thing is, everything is about your wife, the mother of your child. If she's happy, everything else falls into place. It just works. So forget about yourself. It's not about you. It's all about her.
Well, this guy, what a gentleman this fella is, huh? All right, so the other dads I've interviewed, their kids are a bit younger, but yours are a bit older, huh? There are a lot of stories, when they turn tweens, when they turn teens. So let's talk about tweens first. Yeah. How old were they, when you saw a difference?
Yeah, so 13, 14, I think also because of, we're in secondary school,
right?
The brains are maturing, they're sort of understanding how the world works a bit more. And there's a lot of changes, chemical changes, biological changes happening. There's a lot of more shrugging and a lot more like, ugh.
Oh!
And a lot of hard to engage with them because they're kind of in their own little zone.
So is it like an overnight thing where suddenly, they don't want to talk to daddy anymore?
Yeah, a little bit like that. I mean, I know you've got a little girl and she's loves you to death, right?
No, the opposite. She hates me. She loves her mom only. When my kid turns into a tween, 13, 14, what do you do to, get them close to you?
I think find common interests. For my girls, they're quite sporty. So we like to do things like today we're out kicking a football around and then while we're chatting to you. Also, my older one likes to go to the gym, so we go to the gym together sometimes. Well, I've always encouraged them since they were young to play sport of some kind or whatever.
Right.
When they were 4 or 5, just throwing them something, they catch, throw, catch. And then now they're really good. They can catch a tennis ball one hand, they can chuck it back.
So it's my fault now that my kids are addicted to gaming because I introduced all the games to them.
But if it's not a game that you can't do together, then you're just isolating yourselves away from each other, right?
So my son and I did play Minecraft a lot, the dungeons, but then we completed it and then now he's only playing solo games. I tried to bring the football, he hates sweating, he hates the grass, he hates being tired, he hates being hot. And how about the teenager? So how old before they change again?
Oh, then, so they kind of go in, this is not stereotyping a little bit with teens, right? But yeah, they kind of go into their shell a bit, become more introspective, a little bit more self-conscious about, what people think about them. My older one, she's 17 now, and she's sort of coming out of that now. So she's kind of finding her own personality.
So it's true where they will be very close to you when they're younger. They'll distance, and then they'll come back.
And then come back, yeah. Okay. But the important thing, as I reckon, is the time spent when they're young, when they're really young, in their sort of preschool years. All they want to do is spend time with us, right? They want to play, they want to do this, they want to do that, they want to ask you lots of questions. So if you can indulge them and spend as much time with them when they're younger, then it'll set you up much better.
Where do you find the help to take care of the kids as well when both of you have to work, you know?
So we've been very fortunate to have helpers that we, you know, trust, feel comfortable with, and that I've always worked odd shifts, either late at night or early mornings. So I've been able to be around.
Your kids are older now. Any other common interests, like, you know, the music they listen to, the movies they watch? You might not like that.
Well, we'd always have like movie nights. Increasingly though, we're having trouble like agreeing on what we want to watch.
Right.
But we found like middle ground with some shows.
Important question, do your kids find you cool when they see you on TV?
I think maybe for the first couple of days when they first noticed that I was on TV, and they registered what that meant.
Right.
But now it's like passé. It's like, yeah.
How do you keep fit? Because your schedule must be like crazy. You're traveling, you've got night shift, morning shift.
I wasn't always this self-conscious. I remember when our oldest one was born, I was spending a lot of time at home. I was just, you know, eating whatever, and I was actually about 15 kg heavier than I am now. And it was only when we moved to Singapore and I, you know, thought about getting into TV and stuff like that it really sort of started focusing my mind on these things. Also, I'm kind of getting to that age where you kind of need to pay attention to this stuff.
So what is the diet like? Is there any food you avoid?
Just eat very simple whole foods.
So no, like, you know, processed
No
food?
processed cereals, nothing like that.
And then what's the workouts like?
I try and be as disciplined as I can and try and at least, you know, 3-4 times a week get to the gym.
What do you do
something
in the gym?
Usually like it's mostly cardio, but there's some strength training as well.
How long do you take in the gym?
Maybe about an hour 15.
Oh, it's okay, innit?
Yeah.
So it's the diet, I think, that makes the most difference.
It's totally the diet.
You don't do like fasting and all that?
Oh no.
Really?
I did try intermittent fasting at one point. It really does work, but it's just restricting your calories, right? The whole thing is just calorie surplus or calorie deficit.
But you don't count, right? You just eat whole foods.
Yeah.
Oh.
But it's discipline, right? Consistency. You got to do this like 80% of the time. My dad has had various health issues through the years, and a lot of it goes back to diet when he was young. His quality of life in his later years isn't something that I would want for myself.
That's why
so it's a lesson
diet.
to me, and I want to be able to run around and play sports with my kids.
Do you eat like pizza, fried chicken?
Yeah, just once in a while. Yeah.
that's
So
the secret,
80-20. I try and 80% clean, especially Monday to Friday. Weekends you're with the family, it's a bit harder.
The best advice you've received when it comes to being a father?
To love the mother of your children. By doing that, by loving my wife and showing her that, and my kids see that. And then so you're role modeling, right? So the guys that eventually come into their lives, hopefully they'll see like, no, that's not how a woman should be treated. They'll know what they should expect and what they will put up with.
Your best advice to other fathers out there watching right now?
Look after your health and because you know you want to be there for the long haul, right? And don't underestimate your diet, because the older you get, the harder it gets to keep the weight off.
I was going to have a sourdough pizza from the shop nearby
just
here.
around the corner,
I'm
right?
not going to do that anymore now. Thank you very much, Steve. Really appreciate it.
No,
Thank
anytime,
you, sir.
anytime.
And then I hope you score a goal or two here.